have you entered Virtual London? Oh my goodness, everyone I seem to be talking to right now has entered the race. So many friends of mine who have never managed to get themselves into London running the ballot through the ballot have managed to get themselves into Virtual London. So guys, it is now time for us to start training and getting prepared to run our race, because we haven't got very many weeks left to get prepared. I'm Helen, I'm the Cheesecake Runner, and I help first-time marathoners get trained, ready and prepared to run the race of their dreams. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be going live with tips to help you prepare to run your Virtual London race. And today we're on tip number 6, which is all about training to run your long runs right. So if you're running Virtual London, let me know in the comments. Let me know just how excited you are about finally getting your spot to run London, even if it's not going to be in London. So if you have got yourself a spot to run Virtual London, then chances are you are going to be out at the weekend for a long run. Now, with only 5 and a bit weeks until race day, long runs are going to be more than about just running. And so in this short video, I'm going to give you a list of things that you need to be doing to test out in your long runs. So race day can really go without a hitch, because we don't want to be messing up and trying things new on race day. But now you're in Virtual London, make sure you're signed up to my next Get Your Race Prep Right workshop, which I'm doing another workshop next Wednesday. At this workshop, I'm going to be giving you the essential race day prep advice, the race day prep advice that you need to be confident that you've got all the prep you need ahead of the day so you can have a brilliant day. Running Virtual London is going to be amazing. Thousands of runners across the country are going to be running 26.2 miles on the 4th of October, and even more across the world. But unlike a regular marathon or race, where as the runners we just rock up and run, we're also the race organisers. And that means we've got more and more things to be doing ahead of race day. So in this short video, I'm going to take you through some of the essential preparation that you need to be doing and testing out in your long runs to make sure come race day you're organised and you are ready to run. So there's 3 things that we're going to be thinking about this evening. First up, it's all about finalising your route. Now, I went live a few days ago with tips for planning your route, so make sure you check out that video. I'll put the link in the comments. But once you've finalised your route, or you've got a good idea about where you're going to be running, you need to test it out. You need to test it out. So, well, firstly, that you're not going to get lost, but you're going to test it out so you know all the obstacles, all the hard bits that are going to come up in your route. So I suggest in your long runs over the next few weeks that you break up your route. If you're going to be going out running, a 26.2 mile sort of big loop around the towns that you live in, I recommend in your long runs over the next few weeks, you break that route up into sort of chunks, and you run a little bit of it on each of your runs over the next few weeks. So the reason I'm suggesting you do this is you're looking to learn the route. You're looking to find out where all the difficult, narrow paths are going to be. You're looking to find out where there's going to be tree roots, potholes, and other hazard trips. You need to work out where you're going to be crossing roads, which roads are going to be really busy, whether or not there's going to be thousands of cyclists or other runners or dog walkers or kids on tricycles out that are trip hazards, and they're going to get in the way of you sort of running in a straight line on the race day. Because what you want to make sure is that you don't have to be worrying about running your routes for the first time on race day. What I can find, what I have found out is when I go out and run in a new environment, a new road, a new area, it takes up a little bit more brain capacity, just checking out, making sure I'm not tripping over things, okay? And running a marathon is it's exhausting, not just on our legs, but it's also exhausting on our brain. And the more complicated your route is going to be, with more potholes, trip hazards, roots, things that you need to jump over, the more your brain is going to have to work, and that's going to tire you for the latter stages of your run. So the more that you know the routes, you know where those things are going to come up, the less you're going to need to be, 100% aware, and you're not going to fall over and trip over on your marathon. When we're running a regular race, that's what race organisers do. They make sure that we have got a clear path most of the time for our marathons. They've worked it all out. They very often signpost where there are trip hazards. And especially if you were planning to run a city marathon this year, we were going to be running on roads. Running on footpaths, running on trails is very, very different, and it's going to take up a lot more energy if you've not used to running on those routes. So that's my first tip for you. Second tip is you need to use your long run to test out how you're going to run it on the day. So are you going to run your 26.2 miles all in one go? Or maybe you'll start off running and then you're going to switch to run walk, and then maybe walk the final 10k. Or maybe you're going to run a half marathon distance, then take an hour or so break, and then go out and run a bit more, and maybe a bit more later on in the day. Whatever you're going to be doing on race day, I really recommend that you test it out on your long runs. So if you're planning to chunk up the runs into maybe half marathons or 10k runs, you need to know what it feels like to run after an hour or so's break. And you also need to test out what you might be eating, what you might be snacking on when you got in from your first lap or your first tranche of the run. And you want to make sure that anything like that is not going to cause you any gut issues on your runs. So that's my second tip, is test out how you're going to run on the day. And my third tip for you for your long runs is to test out your fueling, hydration, and any other food that you're going to be eating on the day. Now, if you've been in training for a marathon for a while, then you've probably worked out what your best long run fuel is going to be. But if you've only just signed up to the run and you've not been thinking about running a marathon, then you are going to need to make some quick decisions about gels, jelly babies and bananas on what you are going to be eating on your run. And you need to test everything out. You really don't want to have gut issues on the day. And you'll need to work out how you're going to drink water on the day. You don't want to find out that the gel you've bought gives you a gippy tummy halfway through your run on the day. So my third recommendation for you for your long runs, test out your fueling and your hydration. And finally, kit. Oh my goodness, this is super important. I did a workshop last night and I was asked if it was too late to buy trainers. No! If you need new trainers, if they're feeling a little bit worn, now is the time to make sure you've bought your trainers. You've got plenty of weeks to break them in and to make sure that they are the perfect running shoe for you. Also, while you're at it, make sure you've got the rest of your kit sorted. Make sure anything that you need, you buy it now. And the reason I'm saying that is you need to test everything out on race day. Do not do anything new on race day. You need to test out your trainers, your clothes, your water bottles, your bum bag, your rucksacks, everything and anything else you're going to be carrying on the day. You don't want to be carrying a rucksack that you've just got. It's a Camelback and it has everything. You can put all your food in it. And the first time you use it was on race day and it chafes everywhere. And you're just going to have to get rid of it or you end up with blisters. So you want to make sure that you've tested it all out, okay? All of your kit, absolutely everything. So in summary, there were 3 things plus a bonus to test out on your long run. So first up, you want to test out your long route to make sure you know where the trip hazards are and all the difficult parts of your run. Second, you need to practice your race day running strategy. So however you're going to be running your race, your run, practice it. Practice that way of running on your long runs. Number 3, test out your fueling and hydration to make sure that everything agrees with you and you're not going to have any nasty surprises on race day. And finally, test out all of your kit. And I recommend you do this now rather than leave it until your final long run when you really won't have time to change things up and switch things around. We've got how many long runs? We've probably got 3 or 4 long runs left. So get out there this weekend and start testing, start practicing things because you've got a few weeks to switch things around if it doesn't work. Over the next few days, I'm going to come on live to talk about all sorts of other things that you need to be doing to train for the day, as well as giving you other preparation tips. But the weeks are ticking by quickly. And soon it's going to be time to run our virtual London race. So now is the time to plan and prepare for the day. And next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing another workshop to help you get your virtual London race prep right. We went live last night with our first workshop and boy, we had some great questions, really helped a load of people out getting themselves prepared to train for race day. So what we're going to be covering in my Get Your Race Prep Right workshop is I'm going to help you get organized for the final weeks of your training and prep so you can be confident that you are going to be powering through your 26.2 miles right to the finish of your virtual London Marathon on the day. I'm going to be talking about training and taper and explaining why it is so important to taper ahead of your race or virtual run, even if you've only just started training. You'll also learn about what to be eating the week before your run or your virtual race so that you can load your body up with energy to power you around on your run. And I'm going to help you finalize your logistics and everything you need to get yourself organized and ready to run on the day. Now I'm going to be going live at 7:30 next Wednesday and you can save your spot by clicking the link below this video. So guys, let's do this. I am so looking forward to running Virtual London and I hope you are. It is going to be an absolutely amazing day on the 4th of October. But first, I shall see you all next Wednesday for my workshop. Take care. See you soon. Bye.